Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm starting off by burning some frankincense. I also have an incense burning behind me and my diffuser with my favorite scent, frankincense. So I really have been thinking for a while about what I would make this first video about, and I decided to just start from the beginning. So I want to share with you guys how I started my spiritual journey, what my spiritual awakening looked like. I want you guys to get to know me a little bit better, and also share with you why I decided to make this YouTube channel. So to start with why I decided to make this channel, I really wanted just an outlet to share my journey, to help people along their journey and give them the different knowledge and tools that I've learned. I also do tarot and oracle readings, so I plan to do more of that through YouTube and teach people more about Reiki, because I also do Reiki. And yeah, so I just hope you guys enjoy it. So to start from the beginning, I wouldn't say that there was like a time in my life that I could say like this is like when it all happened. But if I'm guessing, I would say around November 2017 is when things just kind of like started connecting and synchronizing. So I believe in synchronicity, and I study numbers, and I see a lot of numbers, and that's kind of somewhere where it started, because it kind of just started with a lot of communication with my angels. And one time in particular, I would say maybe after December of that year, I was going through a lot. I was working full time. I was in school. It was my first semester back in school, and I'm also a mom. So there's just a lot going on, a lot of stress and triggers for me. So I was very down at the time, I would say. And I remember one night I was like having like an argument with my friends, and they were staying over my apartment at the time, and they were in the living room, and I thought I was like sleeping in my bed, and I thought one had come into my room trying to hand me something, and I was just like, no, like leave me alone, and like turned over. And then I remember like the figure that came to hand me something, just with like I just seen the outline, and it was like long hair and just like a shadow. So then it's like this figure like sat on my bed and started talking to me about what was going on in my life. And it's just like, did you do this yet? Have you talked to this person yet? Have you told them you feel this way? Have you shared this? And like I was like, am I dreaming? Like I'm just laying in my bed and I'm like, am I dreaming? So I just flip over again and I'm like, whatever, this is weird. Then I feel somebody lay their hand on my back. And so I got scared and I freaked out, and I turned over again, and I hurried up and I called my boyfriend at the time, and I'm just like, you know, explaining to him what was going on, and I was like freaking out, and I'm like, everybody else is sleeping, I don't know what to do, I don't want to get up. And later I learned that that was the first time I had an angel visit me. And later on, I was telling my best friend about the story, and I was laying on my couch and she was in the kitchen, and I was telling her, and I went to turn over and I felt the hand on my back again. And it was just stuff like that that just kept happening. I can recall another time that me and my cousin were meditating, and it was her first time sitting down and meditating, and I had at the time like a little wooden spinning wheel that I kept all my crystals and candles on, and I placed it in the center of the floor, and we sat around it, and I like turned it a little bit, and then after that the whole thing turned, and she looked at me and I looked at her, and I'm just like, I don't know, She's like, I'm scared now. I don't know if I want to do it. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, let's just sit down. So we're sitting in the dark. And then we're done with the meditation and we turn the light on and there's a butt print sitting across from us. So it was like somebody else was sitting with us while we were doing this meditation, and they let their presence be known in the beginning when they spun my little altar. So then after that period, I think I was just connecting more. I didn't know it at the time, but my angels were communicating with me more, and there was more blocks. And I had a friend at the time who started to get Reiki done, and she's like, oh, like, let me pay for your first session. Like, I really think that you would benefit from this and enjoy it. And I was like, no, like, I can't let you do that, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up not getting it then. But I did, however, go to Mardi Gras for my 21st birthday in February. And one thing that I really wanted to do during this time was go see a psychic in New Orleans. So I had, researched a psychic that I really liked, and I ended up getting 3 readings done. A future reading, a past life reading, and an angel message reading. And it ended up being in a crystal shop, and that's actually where I bought my first crystals. So I actually got as a gift for Christmas a set of chakra crystals and a book. And like I said, everything during this time kind of just came to me, and that's when I started learning about chakras, was in December. And then my friend told me about Reiki, and then I went to go see this psychic. And when I seen the psychic, she was like, you're psychic and you're a medium, and you, when you were younger, these powers were noticed, but people scared you and you kind of shut it off. So I'm like, okay, whatever that means. So then she's like, you're going to start seeing more, and you're going to start seeing more in your dreams. So then I'm like, okay. And she said a bunch of other stuff that was absolutely accurate and super true, and it was my first ever psychic reading. So I just didn't know what to expect, and I didn't go in there with like any specific questions of like, what is going to happen with this and I was just very open-minded and was like just getting all this information. And I think the most interesting was a past life reading. I really enjoyed that, and I'm really looking forward to doing a past life regression reading, hopefully this summer. So I'll update you guys on that. So yeah, then what she said ended up happening, and I remember the first time I really knew oh my gosh, she's right. I was sitting with my friend, and she was telling me about this new house that her and her husband were looking to buy, and she's describing it to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, it made a dream that I had previously pop up in my head, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had a dream of us being in that room and you telling me you were pregnant with a girl. And she just looked at me funny, and she's like, oh, that's so weird. And then I felt her feel like it was weird, and I was just like, oh, are you guys trying for kids? Tried to play it off. And then I ended up seeing her about a week later. She's like, so girl, guess what? And I'm like, what? She's like, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, no way, you just found out? She's like, no, I knew, I just didn't know, if I wanted to tell you right in that moment, but I am, and it is a girl. And I was just like, what? So I got teary-eyed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then things kind of just picked up after that, and then I ended up connecting with, through my mom and her job, a bunch of people into spirituality. And one person in particular, my Reiki lady, who attuned me and taught me about Reiki, but also practices Reiki on me. I met her and I ended up going to this party. She had like a party to teach people about what Reiki is. And of course, I ended up showing up a little late, so I missed most of it. But when we connected, it was like I knew her before. And it was, the connection was just there. And she was talking to me a lot. And there was just stuff that happened in the party. She was talking about a dream she had about unicorns, and then she read about what unicorns were, and it was like a lot of younger people are going to be coming to you. And it was like me and like 2 other younger people there that had all went to the basement with her, and she was like showing us, she's also a trainer, she's also trained me in the past, but she was showing us her gym, and we just started talking, and we were talking about like our dreams and stuff, and just like exchanging information. And it was just so great that the universe had brought this woman to me to help guide me. Until this day, I still call her a spiritual teacher or mentor for me. And then she's been a big tool for me, and has helped guide me through a lot. And with that, through our Reiki sessions, helped me heal a lot. So the great thing about Reiki is it's just an exchange of energy. She helps to align and energize all of my chakras to make sure they're flowing well, help me see where my blockages are and what is causing those blocks. And sometimes it's just something very deep rooted that comes up. And what I've noticed in my spiritual awakening is that things that I didn't even know bothered me, or things I didn't even know that happened years ago that I didn't know really I was holding in, came up. And even in the last like 3 months, like stuff from my past that I had no idea that I was holding on to started coming up. And it's just like through my spiritual awakening and my journey to enlightenment, all of my baggage is just like coming through. All of my baggage is just showing up, and it's like, I thought I handled this, but I guess I didn't. And it's refreshing in a way. I guess at the time it's like frustrating because it's just like you have all these feelings that you just didn't know, but it's refreshing to deal with it so that you don't feel so heavy. And I definitely feel a lot lighter. So after working with Colleen for a while, this past Christmas, the holidays, she ended up attuning me, level 1 and 2 attunement, and I started practicing Reiki in that. And right after that, I also started reading cards, and I just felt like with my attunement, like my gifts just started to like flow, like, and just come through so much, and they just expanded so much. And I know that I have so much growth to go, but it's just crazy that in that one part of my journey that my gifts grew so much. Also, during my journey to Hawaii, because I live in Hawaii now, I also connected, and it's crazy because I met this lady in a dream before I actually met her in this dimension or the material world. And I seen her in a dream, and Colleen was in my dream, and Colleen's telling me like, oh, like it was like we were in a school for gifted children with different powers, and I was in the school for my psychic abilities, but there was a medium visiting, and Colleen was one of the teachers at the school, and she's like, there's this medium coming, I have a feeling you really have to meet her. And I think that this was the first time that I really could recall traveling to a past life during my dream state or in my dream state. But so she's like, you have to meet this lady, blah blah blah. So then she's like, I'm gonna try to get you into that meeting. She was speaking, I guess. She's like, I'm gonna try to get you in. So then she ends up getting me in, and I remember we're walking to like the auditorium where she's speaking, and I see the lady, and she has like all these other teachers around her, and they're all conversing. And right before we get into the building, or about to walk in the building, I see 3 children, and they're 3 spirit children, and I see them, and then she sees them, and she sees me see them, and we connect, and we make eye contact, and then that was the end of the dream. And when I woke up, I was like, am I in real life, or am I in a dream? Like, that's how real this dream felt. So I texted Colleen, and I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, all this stuff. I'm like, you know, what could this mean, and blah, 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 and it was so real. And she's just like, this is, you know, you traveled to a past life, and you did meet this woman, and you will meet her in the material world when you're meant to. So I end up telling my friend Tracy about this, and then like later on, she invites me to this Facebook page, and I go on the Facebook page, and lo and behold, the woman that I seen in my dream is the leader of this Facebook page. And I'm like, oh my God, like I just got teary-eyed. I had goosebumps everywhere. I'm like, this is the woman, this is the woman. So then I ended up scheduling a reading with her. She does card readings. So I definitely feel like she's meant to be another mentor of mine. We haven't got to connect as much. We get to, we got to do the reading through webcam, which was pretty cool, and she has some other Facebook groups and stuff going on that I plan to use her guidance and stuff. But just to like do like a wraparound of all of this, because I know this is so much information and it probably sounds crazy, but I just feel like when you are ready to make this change and transition, because I feel like so many people think that we're physical beings on a spiritual journey, but we're spiritual beings on a physical journey. And when you're ready to make that transition and realize that, you know, it's your spirit on this journey, and your spirit has been on this journey for a long, long time, way longer than your physical body, the universe is going to send you everything you need, and all the messages and all the people that you need. There's some days where I go on social media and a message will pop up, and I'm like, oh my God, that is exactly what I needed to hear today. That is exactly what I'm going through. And I know that that is not by coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in synchronicity. And, you know, after my spiritual awakening, it was like nothing could ever just be like, oh yeah, that just happened. Everything has a deeper meaning. And once I started to see that and see the world for what it really is, you know, everything in my life started changing so much. And obviously, you know, my life's not perfect, and, you know, everything's not great, and I go through shit too, and, you know, shit gets rough and life becomes hard. But the fact that I know that I have the universe behind me, my angels, ascended masters, just everybody just protecting me, guiding me, it makes life so much easier. So if you're ready to transition, ready to learn more about meditation or chakras and Reiki, or if you'd like to book a reading with me, follow me on Instagram, DM me, comment on this video. If you have any feedback to give me, I appreciate it all, negative or positive. One thing I did want to point out, I was thinking about like where I'm gonna record this, and I was like, I definitely have to record this in a mirror. So if you notice behind me, there's the mirror. And the reason why I did that is because a mirror is a reflection. So anything that's being sent to me, especially that negative energy, is just going to be sent back. And that's why I really felt like it was important to record in front of the mirror. But anyways, please just send me feedback. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think I can do better or different. Let me know if there's anything that you really want me to talk about. I plan to start recording at least weekly now. Definitely doing some tarot messages in my videos. So yeah, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Ali the Alchemist 7, and let me know what you think. Peace out, guys.